Hi ladies, I'm Erin Bond. I'm an exercise scientist and professionally qualified instructor for both yoga and Pilates. Today I'm going to lead you through a restorative yoga series, which is designed to help your body recover from the workouts Kim and Lisa are having you do each week. So throughout our restorative yoga series, we do have a very strong focus on the breath. Now, the breath that we use is designed to work in with your nervous system and to really trigger your relaxation response. So we work with the parasympathetic nervous system. So when I do prompt the breath, please do follow along with the breath and really try to focus on your breath. Even if I'm not directly talking about the breath, do keep coming back to that as a really big essential component of the practice. It kind of becomes a moving meditation, if you like. So we move with the breath and the breath carries you and nurtures you through the practice. So this is part of the benefits of our practice, is to really work with our nervous system and pull you out of a stress response and encourage the relaxation from a physiological level as well as an emotional level. So part of the other effects of the practice, as we move through, I will point out some of the benefits of each pose, but particularly what we're doing is creating better blood flow, better circulation, particularly to the abdominal region, pelvic region. So this is going to help support everything else that you're doing in order to help your body recover and function better and to help you feel a lot better. So we come along to our yoga mat. I have brought along a cushion and a towel, so just a regular towel, a regular cushion, so just in case you do have any injuries or anything that needs to be adjusted for. We don't need anything fancy, you can just use whatever you have lying around the house. So I don't expect you to have any other props, just whatever you can kind of grab from around you. Cool, so hopefully you've got yourself some comfortable clothing, hopefully there is a towel or something nearby. We're going to get straight into our practice wherever you are. And so if we actually begin sitting, so if you can, sitting cross-legged, so it really doesn't matter how fancy it looks. If it's really super uncomfortable for you to sit cross-legged, if you kind of find yourself doing this, then you can grab your cushion or a towel or something and actually sit on that. If that's still too much, you can just extend your legs. So the idea is not to be fancy, the idea is to be comfortable. So we want you to be able to sit and sit still and quietly follow the breath for a little while without having to move the body and get all antsy about the body. Also, just make yourself comfortable, find that seat, and then you're resting your hands either the lap, on the knees, wherever is comfortable for you, and then closing your eyes. So the idea is to pull your attention and your energy inwards. So any noises that are happening outside of your house, outside of the room that you're in, we just kind of let them go. So you notice them, but then pull your attention in. Then pulling your attention further in, and just notice your breath for a moment. So rather than doing anything to it for the beginning, we just notice. So follow the inhale, see how deep or shallow your breath is. Notice how quick or slow it is. So you're just really paying attention to begin with of your baseline, where you're at now. Where is your breath? And so you might actually notice that with your attention, the breath actually naturally will slow down. The breath naturally deepens. And that's kind of what we want it to do. So now we actually begin to actively participate in the breath. So the inhale through the nose and breathe into the belly. So even if you want to, put your hand on the belly and feel it expand out with the inhale. And as you exhale, press the breath out. Press the belly just a little. So it's almost a little massage. And inhale, expand the belly. Exhale through the nose, release the breath completely. Press the last of it out. Now as you inhale, breathe into the belly, and then feel the ribs expand to the sides. Exhale, release, empty the lungs completely. Inhaling into the belly, feel the ribs expand, and exhale, release completely. Inhale into the belly, feel the ribs expand, then feel the back of the ribs, the back of the chest expand. Exhale to release completely. Inhale to the belly, the ribs into the back, and exhale, release completely. Press the breath out. Inhale into the belly, ribs, back, and then feel the top of the chest lift. Exhale, we empty the lungs completely. Inhale, expand belly, ribs, back, and top of the chest. Exhale, empty the lungs completely. Press the breath out. Now this time as you inhale, expand all 4 directions at once. So we really expand the lungs like you're filling up a balloon. And exhale, empty the lungs completely. Press the breath out. Inhale, expand. Exhale, release completely. So this is our yoga breath. Particularly for this practice, we keep this breath long and full. And if we start to find ourselves in any sort of the poses that we do and they start to get stressful, or you catch yourself holding the breath, which tends to happen, we come back to this breath. And we don't get all stressed that we lost the breath or that our attention wandered. We just be thankful we noticed, and we come back to the breath. Always back to the breath. This holds your attention in the moment, and it carries you through the practice. And then from there, keeping that breath in mind, we inhale, lift the arms up. And it doesn't matter if your legs are out in front of you, how you're sitting. Then exhale, we take the right hand down, reach the left arm over. Keep that left hip pushing towards the ground, so we're not kind of lifting up and reaching over. The idea is to try and get that length through the waist. So you're active with that top hand. 3 more breaths here. Keep that top shoulder back. 2. And 1 more breath here. Nice. Then we inhale, come back to center, move with the breath. Exhale, switching sides. Push that right hip towards the ground, stay grounded, but then lengthen the waist. For 4 deep breaths. Remember expanding into belly, ribs, back, and top of the chest. 3, 2, and 1 more breath here. Well, then we inhale, lift all the way up. Well, then exhale, release the hands. And we just take anything from behind you. So if you had a cushion or a towel, taking that from behind you and bringing the legs out in front. Because I'm just going to turn on my mat, but you don't need to necessarily. So feet come out in front, hands to the ground. We unwind the legs, keep a little bend in the knees, and just toe heel the feet hip distance apart. Take the thumbs to the elbows and just let the body hang over the legs. So taking the belly towards the thighs. If you like, you can kind of rock side to side. So you're really just unwinding a little for 3 more breaths here. 2. And last one, let the top of the head move towards the ground. And from there, release the hands. And inhale, bending the knees a little more, just to take the pressure off the knees. Slowly roll up to standing, stacking the spine, and exhale, release the shoulders. We bring the feet together at the top of the mat. So we're going to move through some gentle sun salutations. This is just to warm up the body, get every muscle moving, get the blood flowing, so then we can hold the poses for a little bit longer and really sink into it. Because that's part of the restorative practice, is to really deepen the poses rather than move through really dynamically. We kind of hang out in there, and then we get a lot more benefits from hanging out. So we inhale, lift the arms high. Exhale, fold forward. So you're folding from the hips. It doesn't matter where your hands reach, so whether they reach here or the floor, it really doesn't matter. Then we inhale, come up just halfway so your back is flat, hands to shins. Exhale, hands to the ground. If you need to bend the knees to get the hands flat, bend the knees. And then we step back, find your plank. Inhale, lower the knees to the ground, lifting the tailbone so there's a real arch through the spine. Keep the hips high. Exhale, bend the elbows, lower the chest and chin. We inhale, slide through onto the belly, So it's just a gentle little arch drawing the shoulders back. So really good for just applying a little bit of a massage to the abdomen. And then we exhale, tuck the toes, press hips towards heels, then lift back to a downward facing dog. Cool. So we take 3 breaths here. 2, so you're looking between the knees so the neck is relaxed, there's no strain in the neck. And 1 more breath. Cool. Then we inhale, lift the right leg high. Doesn't matter again what it looks like, just lift. Exhale, we gently step that right foot between the hands. Well, then we inhale, step the left foot forward to meet the right, long through the spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift all the way up to standing. You can keep a little bend in the knees if you need. And exhale, release the hands. We inhale, second side, lift up. Exhale to fold. Inhale, flatten the back, lift the heart. Exhale, hands to the ground, we step back. Try to keep the hips low as you step back. Then we inhale, take the knees to the ground, lift the tailbone. Exhale, lower the chest and chin. Inhale, slide through onto the belly. So there's no weight in the hands, because as soon as you press the hands, then you're really going to crunch in the lower back. Then from there, tuck the toes. Exhale, we press back. This is your downward facing dog. Take 3 more breaths here. 2, remember those full deep breaths. 1 more, really press the ribs towards the thighs, lift the tailbone high. Well, then we inhale, lift the left leg high. Exhale, gently step that left foot between the hands. We inhale, step the right foot forward to meet the left. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift all the way up, reaching up. And exhale, release the hands. So remembering it doesn't matter what it looks like so long as you're moving the body with the breath. Also, we're just working with where your body's at. Remember, I do this all the time. So we inhale, lift the arms high. Exhale, we fold forward. Inhale, we lengthen through the spine. And then exhale, take the hands to the ground again. Bend the knees if you need. We step back to our plank. Inhale, lower the knees to the ground. Exhale, lower the chest and chin. Inhale, slide through. This is your baby cobra. And exhale, again we press back to a downward facing dog. So from here we inhale, lift the right leg high once more. Then we exhale, step the right foot, and we're actually going wide, so it goes around the right hand. So both hands are inside the right foot. Try to bring the foot a little bit further forward than the knee. Also, even if it doesn't quite make it first go, grab the ankle, bring it around. You can lower the back knee to the ground, and if you are on tiles or something hard, you can put a towel, or a cushion or something underneath your left knee just to make it a little bit more supported. We inhale here, exhale, bending the elbows, so if you can, coming down onto your forearms. So the idea is to try and keep the spine long, so your hips kind of sink forward a little bit. The chest moves forward, but the shoulders kind of relax. So we're trying not to bunch through the shoulders. Deep breaths here. Remember to keep breathing in to the belly, ribs, back, and top of the chest. To exhale, empty the lungs completely. So we have 5 more breaths here, drawing that right knee in towards the shoulder. 4, if you are feeling strong and you want to, you can keep the back toes tucked and the back legs strong. 3, so we're starting to open up through the hips and through the hip flexors. This helps the blood flow through the pelvic region. 1 more. Nice, and you're not quite out of there yet. So from there, we lower the back knee if you lifted it up. Then we walk that front foot just a little bit further forward and a little bit further to the right. Roll onto the pinky toe edge of that foot. So from there, stay on the left forearm, come down onto the left forearm if you can. Take the right hand onto that right knee, So as you push the knee away from you, it can be quite intense. Most people when I teach this don't love it, but it's okay. You just deepen the breath. The more stressful or the more challenging, the deeper the breath gets. So you're pushing the knee away, but drawing that shoulder open. So there's almost a little twist through the body as you do this. Deep breaths. For 5 more, you can either look to the ground or over that top shoulder. 4. If you need a cushion or a towel underneath that forearm, feel free to use it. 2. And 1 more breath here. Deep breath. Well, then we inhale. Take the hands to the ground. And you're out of there. Tuck the back toes. And we exhale. Step back. Bring the feet together. Then we inhale. Take the knees down as wide as the mat. Keep the big toes together. And exhale. Press the hips towards the heels. Press the heart towards the earth. So if your knees are a little sticky or they're not that happy about it, you can bring a cushion or the towel in and just bring it in underneath that thigh just to give your knees a little bit of a break. But the idea is to work the chest towards the ground. So 3 more breaths here. 2. 1 more, breathing into the back of the body, breathe into the kidneys. Right, then we inhale, come up onto the hands and knees, so you're bringing the knees in, tuck the toes, exhale, push back to your downward facing dog. Okay, so from there we inhale, lift the left leg high, and exhale, we step the left foot around the left hand. So again, you're bringing that foot quite far forward, trying to take the pressure off the knee. If you lowered the back knee last time, do so this side. Inhale. Exhale, bending the elbows, forearms if you can. Bring in a cushion or a towel or anything you need to support your arms as well. Because remember, we want these poses to be quite supported and to be able to try and relax in them. Even though we're challenged, we want to try and find some sense of peace in it. To be able to breathe deeply and fully. For 5 more breaths. If you do notice a difference side to side, then don't panic. Most of us are asymmetrical, and you're just going to find it through your yoga practice. You're going to find these little differences in side to side, and that's okay. For 3 more breaths. If you did so, last side, keep that back knee strong. For 2, deep full breaths. And last one. All right, so we inhale, lower that back knee. Foot goes a little further forward, a little wider. Then there is that twist. So you're pressing the hand to the knee, push it away, and then twist the body. Excuse my turning my back on you. So we are pushing the knee away from the body and then drawing that shoulder back. So there's a nice twist through the body. Deep breaths here. The twists are also good for massaging the abdominal area. 5 more breaths here. 4. Breathing into the ribs, breathing into the back. 3. 2. And the last one here. Deep breath in. Full breath out. See if you can twist a little more. Alright, then we inhale, hands to the ground. Tuck the back toes. And then we exhale, step back. So again, we inhale, take the knees to the ground as wide as the mat. Big toes still touch. Press back into a child's pose. So whatever it looks like for you. 4 more breaths. So it's just kind of a little reset after all of that. 3. to noticing where your breath goes and how much easier it is here than when you're in a more challenging pose. One more breath here. All right, then we inhale, come up onto the hands and knees once more. We tuck the toes. And exhale, press back, find your downward facing dog. So the hips really lift high. Then we look to the hands, and this time as we come forward, we're actually going to step the feet as wide as the hands or slightly around the hands. So again, this could be, you may need to go a little wider, you may need to turn the feet out, because the idea is we're going to bend the knees and sink the hips towards the heels. All right, so if your knees aren't happy about this, you can keep the hands on the ground and just sink as far as the knees will allow. If the knees are good, but you find that your heels lift off the ground, you can either roll up your mat, or you can bring in your cushion or your towel. That's where these guys come in handy. And you can bring that in underneath. Okay. So the idea is to try and get the heels pressing on something a little more solid than thin air. Then we bring the elbows inside the knees, hands to the heart, and press the knees wide. So you're kind of working the tailbone towards the ground, but lifting the center of the chest. So these are all hip openers, and for a lot of Western people, these are really intense. But that's kind of the idea, is if it's intense for you, it means you're quite tight there. And if you're tight, then you're restrictive. So we're kind of trying to open everything up and allow flow and allow movement, circulation. 4 more breaths here. So as you inhale, feel the length through the spine. As you exhale, push the knees a little wider. For 3, 2, and 1 more here. Cool. All right, then we inhale, release the hands to the ground. Come onto the toes, release anything that you had underneath your heels or from behind your knees, and we slowly unwind the body. You can keep a little bend in the knees, bring the feet back to hip distance apart if you had to go a little wider. And again, taking the thumbs to the elbows and just allow the body to hang. Almost like you're letting the whole practice and everything roll off your back. 3, make sure the neck is relaxed so the head just hangs. 2, and 1 more breath here. Nice, and then we inhale, release the hands slowly with the knees a little bent. We roll our way up to standing, and exhale, release the shoulders. So again, we come to the top of the mat. The big toes touch, the arms are by the sides. We inhale, lift the arms up high, and exhale to fold forward. Inhale, that spine is long, keep the heart light. And exhale, hands to the ground, we step back to that plank. Inhale, knees to the ground once more, lift the tailbone, find that little arch. Exhale, lower the chest and chin. Inhale, slide through, baby cobra, lift the heart. And exhale, press back, tuck the toes, hips towards the heels, then we lift up. We inhale, lift the right leg high, keep the ribs moving back. And exhale, we bring the right knee towards the right wrist. So the shin kind of comes across the front of the mat. Now this one, because a lot of us are quite restricted here, we may need a cushion or a towel underneath that hip just to help support, because we're trying to get both hips facing forward. If we don't bring that in, what tends to happen is we may roll open there. So the idea is to try and lift that forward. Try to keep that knee a little bit wider than the hip. Unless your knee is really unhappy about this, then you can bring the knee across a little bit. So if your knee's not happy, bring that knee across a little more. Otherwise, we keep it a little wider than the hip, flexing that ankle. Okay, to make life a little easier, you can bring that heel closer towards that left hip. So the idea is to kind of make it as comfortable but still be a little challenge, because you want to be creating more space, not just sinking into the space you already have. So the hands come out in front, we square the hips, inhale. And exhale, slowly melt the body forward. You can walk the hands out. Again, you can bring a cushion in if you want to be a little more supported, or you can bring your towel or whatever you have handy, or you can release your head onto your hands or just release onto the ground, wherever works. So the idea is if your forehead touches, just check if you can go a little deeper. So a lot of us, we get the forehead to the ground and we stop. And we can actually go a little further. So we just move the chin towards the ground. And if the chin touches, we move the chest towards the ground. And then we come back to that breath. So you're still breathing into the back of the body, to the ribs, to the belly, still opening the lungs to the best of your ability. So keep coming back to the breath. So the idea is to try and alleviate stress rather than build it. So you have 5 more. Inhaling and exhale. Release the breath completely for 4 more. For 3 more breaths here. So see if each exhale you can just nudge a little further, or just find that edge and try to linger there. And 1 more breath here. Alright, then we inhale, slowly walk the hands back up, walk it in towards the body, and then we roll onto that right hip and bring the left leg around in front. So if you were sitting on a cushion or the towel, you can move it over to the side now. So we are facing forward. Now if you have sore knees or not too much flexibility, then keep the left shin in front of the right. So they're kind of parallel to each other. Rather than being drawn in tight, we're a little bit further out, so almost like a square shape. If you are one of those people who has very flexible, bendy hips, feel free to stack your shins. But if you are stacking, please do make sure that they're actually stacked. So the ankle is over the knee is over the ankle. Mine don't love doing this much, but if yours do, then feel free to do it, because I don't want to hold you back either. So we're from here, we inhale, lift up, and exhale, fold. So remember, you're either stacked or in front. Try to keep working the tailbone down, try to keep connected to the earth, but as you move the chest forward. So almost more of a length through the spine than thinking about anything else. For deep breaths, still breathing into around the kidneys, around into the back of the rib cage. And we take 5 more breaths here, moving the lungs. And if you notice that the mind has wandered, be a bit curious about where it wanders off to, but then bring it back to the breath. 3 more. Two. And 1 more breath here. Alright, then we inhale, looking up, slowly walk the hands in, and exhaling to unwind the legs. And you can just kind of shake them out a little bit if you need to. Sometimes unwinding can feel a bit more intense than even being in it. So just let them go, do what you need to do, take a mini moment. And then once you're ready, we bring it back. And you can cross the legs over, or however you get back. So we bring the hands back onto the ground and step the feet back. Press back to your downward facing dog. Alright, so from there we inhale, lift the left leg high. And we exhale, bring that left knee towards the left wrist. So again, we set it up so that the knee hopefully is a little wider than the hip, but remember, adjust for your knees, for your body. Use the towel or the cushion underneath that left hip if you need to. So again, we're trying to avoid this opening up. We want to keep that pushing forward. Those toes point back behind you. Hands are out in front. We inhale and exhale again gently. Just working with your body where it is. And do notice that it will change day to day. So as you practice this series, you'll notice the body Some days it will work beautifully, and other days it's just going to be a push. Like anything else, you're constantly changing, constantly shifting, so it's never going to be the same, but that's okay. We work with what we have each day. Well, 5 more breaths here. Make them full, deep breaths. Again, really noticing where your attention wanders to. And notice if you have contracted any muscles that don't need to be switched on. We tend to bunch the shoulders. We might clench the jaw. It's not going to change the sensations in the hips if you let it go. Try smiling, try wiggling the jaw, shifting the shoulders. One more breath there. And then we inhale, walk the hands back in to the body. Okay, and then we exhale, so now you're rolling around. Bring that shin in front. So again, you can get rid of anything that was sitting underneath that left hip. So shins are either parallel or again you're stacking. So please try to do whichever version you did last side. So this time it should be the right shin on top, but if you did the other side last time, then just make sure you do both sides. We inhale, lift up, and exhale, come forward. Hands to the ground, so remember you may be parallel, that's fine. Again, it's more the length through the spine, pressing down through the hips, but reaching forward with the chest. So think of the inhale as lengthening, giving you a little more space, and the exhale to move in a little deeper. So really working the breath. Well, 5 more. Just notice if you are scrunching your shoulders or tensing the jaw. 4 more breaths here. 3. 2. And 1 more breath. Can you move a little deeper with your exhale? Let me inhale, walk the hands in. And again, so you're coming back to a downward facing dog, so whether you just kind of roll the legs around or roll over the legs, hands to the ground, and we press back from there. And take a deep breath in there. You can pedal out the legs if you like, and a full breath out. Alright, so from there you're looking to hands and you're going to bring the feet through. So it really doesn't matter too much how you get there, but you're just bringing the legs through and the legs out long. So from there your legs are out in front. And then we inhale, draw the right knee into the chest. I'll mirror you. So we draw the right knee in and then we step the right foot outside the left knee. So then the right hand comes behind you. Inhale, lift the right arm up. And exhale, so if you can, you're wrapping the arm around. If that's enough for you, stay there. If you've got more twist, then you can hook that left elbow outside the right knee, and you're actually pressing the elbow against the knee to give you leverage to twist. So remember, we talked about earlier, the twists are a little bit of a massage for all the abdominal organs. Looking over the right shoulder. So if you're actually looking in the direction you're twisting, you are deepening the twist. There's all these fascial connections through the body, so everything is connected to everything. So even the eyeballs moving will deepen the twist. For 5 more breaths, keep that long leg active still. So flex the ankle, keep some attention in that foot. 4. Press a little deeper with each exhale if you can. 3. Try to keep the spine long, so we try not to hunch or bunch. So if you do find you're really hunching, then maybe come back here a little. And we have 1 more breath here. See if you can twist just that teeny bit deeper, push the leg across the body. And then we inhale, come back to center with the gaze. And exhale, gently unwind the body. And then we inhale, come back to center and shake that leg out. All right, now we bring the left knee in, keeping the right leg active. And then we step the left foot outside the right knee. Taking the left hand behind you, we inhale, lift the right arm high, and exhale again. So if you need to wrap the arm, use that option, or you can hook the elbow. Either way, we're kind of really using the leg as leverage to twist the upper body. So the idea is almost as if the hips were moving in one direction and the body is moving in another. That's the idea of the twist. So if you think of like you're wringing out a sponge. So ideally, we haven't just eaten when we come to our practice. 5 more breaths. Again, looking over that left shoulder, look in the direction you're heading. 4, keep that straight leg alive, a little bit active. Some attention in the straight leg. 3. 2 more breaths. And last one, press a little deeper into the twist. Right, then we inhale, come back to center. Exhale, unwind, and it's just a little rotation in the opposite direction, just unwinding the body. All right, then we inhale, come back to center, and exhale, releasing that leg. You can shake it out if you like. All right, so from here, we come forward, and again, if you're needing to wrap the legs behind you, or you can roll over the legs, we come back to a downward facing dog. Cool. Press it back, take a deep breath in here, and a full breath out. Then inhale, you can either come forward to plank or lower the knees, and we exhale, come all the way down onto the belly. So from there, we're bringing the feet together. If it's really uncomfortable for you to keep the feet together, you can take them hip distance apart. We're just bringing the arms by your sides, turn the palms to the sky, and inhale, just lift your chest, lift your shoulders, lift your head. The gaze is kind of down in your nose, so you're kind of a little bit cross-eyed. So we're setting the gaze, so it's this almost a Buddha gaze. You're seeing everything and nothing. The idea is to use the muscles through your back to open up through the chest and shoulders. We're also just applying a little bit of gentle pressure to the abdominal region. 3 more breaths here. 2. And 1 more here. Then we inhale, gently release. So you're just taking one cheek to the mat. Sorry, I'm being mindful of the microphone. Just shimmy the hips out a little bit. Just relax the body for a moment. So our next pose, you do have a couple of options again. So it depends on your range of motion, how you're feeling today, and how your body is working. So option 1 is to do exactly what we just did, but do that again. Option 2, if you want to get a little deeper through chest and shoulders, interlace the fingers behind you, and we lift up. So it's pretty much the same thing, but just adding a little extra through the arms. Those who have the range through the knees, through the back, we're catching a hold of the feet or the ankles. So you're catching the outside. So from wherever you are, the inhale is a lift. So you're really pushing the feet to the sky to open up, but it's really giving that little massage through the abdominal area. Or just a little bit of length and pressure. So holding it just for 3 more breaths. 2, remember it could be one of these variations. And 1 more. All right, then we inhale, gently release. As an exhale, take the hands under the shoulders, bring the feet together, and from there we're just pressing back to a child's pose. You can do the knees wide option 1 again if you like, or just keep the knees together, feet together. You can bring the arms by the sides and just let the body melt over the legs if you like. So the idea is not to be stressed or pushing it. Again, put towel or cushion underneath the thighs if you need to. And just let the body release. 3 more breaths here. For 2. And last one here. bring the hands out in front. So we're really just twisting out those back bends. We come back to a down dog. And we inhale, lift that right leg high once more. And exhale, we're bringing the right knee towards the left elbow and extending the leg out. So from the other direction, what that looks like, bringing it across, extend the leg out, and then we're coming down onto that hip. So the knee might be a little bit bent, it doesn't really matter too much, but kind of 90 degrees between the front thigh and the back thigh. Turning the body to face the front, and then we slowly lay down towards the ground. So it's just a little twist, and for some of us it could be quite interesting through the IT band, depending on if you're a runner or how tight you are just generally in that area. So we just have 4 breaths. Three. 2, remember those full deep breaths. Even though you're laying down, you're still breathing into the front of the chest, of belly. And 1 more. Alright, nice work. We inhale, walk the hands in. And from there, tuck the back toes, and we do press back to our downward facing dog. Or you can paddle it out for a bit if you like. And then we inhale, lift the left leg once more. Exhale, bring that left knee towards the right elbow and take the leg out to the side. So again, creating that 90 degrees between the 2 thighs, turning to face the front of your mat, and then we roll it down. So again, just little twist. For 5 breaths. 4. So remember, it doesn't matter if the legs are just a teeny bit bent, if the flexibility is not there. 3. 2. And the last one here. Great, then we inhale. Slowly bring the hands in, and tucking the toes again, we press back. And again, you can pedal it out if you like, just little shifts. And then we bring the knees down and come back to sitting. Alright, so for this one, you may want to roll up your towel, or if you've got a blanket, or even the cushion, whatever you want to do. So it really does depend on, oh, I've got a little spider, that's awesome. We'll just put the towel to the side for a moment. So what this pose is, it's a reclining variation of this butterfly pose. So we bring the soles of the feet together. Cool. And the idea is not to necessarily squeeze the feet together. So you'll notice when I squeeze my feet, the knees draw up a little bit. But if I peel the big toes away from each other, I get the knees a little wider. So we're just creating that little bit more space through the pelvis, through the hips. So from there, we set up the feet, and rather than folding forward, we're actually going to recline back. So if you are able to, you're coming all the way back without bolster, without cushion, without towel. But if you do need something behind you, if that's just a little bit too much, you can bring in the towel or the cushion or something to lay back on. Because remember, we want this to be a supported, more gentle practice. We're trying to create space, we're trying to create opening, but we're trying to do it gently rather than kind of forcing or really stressing. The idea is to try and reduce stress rather than create it. So just making yourself relatively comfortable. I do realize that comfort is a relative term when we're doing yoga, but we find some level of comfort and just allow the body to release. So feel the knees get heavy, they're moving towards the ground, you don't need to do anything. You can rest the arms by your sides or lift them up and overhead, whichever is more comfortable. And really just allowing the body to be here. If you're lucky enough to be doing it somewhere like I am, and it's just beautiful and the clouds are drifting across the sky, then this is a very peaceful way to be. Otherwise, you can watch the thoughts drift across the mind as if they were clouds drifting across the sky. So we don't really get involved in it. We just let it happen. And we allow ourselves 5 more breaths here. And notice again if the breaths here are easier to deepen, to lengthen and slow down. 4 more. 3. 2 more breaths. And last one, just letting everything release. And then we bring the arms back by the sides if they're not already. And draw the legs in together, rolling to the right side. Press the left hand, and we come back up to sitting. So from there, you can put anything that you had behind you off to the side. So actually bring your legs around to your right or your left. You bring your legs around to the left, I'll bring my legs around to the right. Taking your right hand behind you, left hand onto the right knee. So it's that lengthen through the spine and lift up tall. Keep the spine long and exhale, we twist. So again, you're looking over that right shoulder for 4. 3 more breaths. 2. And last one here. So it's just a nice deep twist. And then we inhale, look back to the center, and exhale again. It's just a little unwind. Then bring the hands behind you, and you're just switching the legs over to the other side. So your feet are to the right. Take the left hand behind you. Inhale, right hand high. And exhale, bring that right hand onto the left knee. So again, try to lift up through the spine and twist around that central axis. Looking over the left shoulder. 4. 3 more breaths here. 2. And last breath here. A little deeper twist. Yes, and inhale, look back to the center. Exhale, little counter twist. Then we inhale, come back to center and bring the legs back in front of you, bringing the soles of the feet together once more, the knees wide. So back to that butterfly pose. And the idea is we're not flapping our wings, we're not butterflies, we're actually just going to hang out. So as soon as you start to bounce, then you're really triggering your stretch reflex, which is kind of negating the stretch. So the idea is to pull the heels in, set that base, set your grounding, your foundation, lift out of the lower back. And when you fold, try to fold from the hips. So rather than folding from the shoulders, so we're working the belly towards the feet rather than the forehead to the feet. So keeping the shoulders relaxed. So if you want to get more involved in it, you can push the elbows onto the legs to press the knees deeper, or you don't have to if you don't want to. You can draw yourself in as long as it doesn't kind of get this happening. We try to keep that relaxed, trying to keep as much stress and tension and muscle activation out of it as we can. If you like, you can walk the hands out in front and press yourself back. But 3 more breaths here. 2. And last one. Alright, then we inhale, walk the hands in. Exhale to stack the spine. We draw the legs in and extend them out long. So make sure you've got a little bit of room behind you to lay down. Okay, so from there, we roll down onto the back. I'm just going to get rid of the mic for a sec. All right, so now we inhale, draw the right knee into the chest and really hug that knee into the body. It's really good for your hips to do that. We kind of skip it. And then from there, exhale, take that right knee across to the left. Use the left hand to bring the knee to the ground. So we don't worry too much about that shoulder for the moment. Take the knee to the floor and then just let the weight of the arm draw the shoulder back. And again, you're looking in the direction you're actually twisting. So you're looking back towards that right hand. 4 more breaths here. Just one final little twist, massage. 3. Using the weight of that bottom hand to press the knee down. 2. And last breath here. All right, then from here we inhale. Come back to center, draw that knee into the chest, and then exhale to release the leg. We inhale, draw the left knee into the chest and really squeeze it into the body. And again, then we take that leg across, use the right hand to press the left knee to the floor, and then we reach the left arm back out and use the weight of the arm to draw the shoulder down. Your gaze is following that left hand. For 4 more breaths. 3. Slow the breath. You can close the eyes if you like. 2. And 1 more breath here. Excellent. So we inhale, come back to center, hug that knee into the chest. And then exhale, release that leg. So we are coming to our Shavasana. So this is relaxation. It's literally translated as corpse pose. So get yourself comfortable. If you like, you can use your rolled up towel, bring it in underneath the knees or the cushion, just making sure that your body is in a position where you won't need to move it. So the idea is to be completely still. Let the arms rest by the sides and let the feet fall out to the sides. So this is still a yoga pose. It's one of the most important poses. So really set yourself up. I'm not doing anything that you need to see now, so you can really tune out. So now we send our attention into the body. We release all external distractions. With the eyes closed, we remove all visual distractions. We stay connected to the breath with our intention. So we send our attention into the toes. So as you inhale, send the focus into your toes. As you exhale, release the muscles, release any tension in the toes. So we let go completely. On your next inhale, bring your attention to the soles of the feet. As you exhale, release the muscles, release any tension. So we're really letting it go. Then we bring the attention to the tops of the feet. And again, we let the exhale, release the muscles, release the tension. Completely allowing the feet to fall out to the sides, no tension, like jelly. Inhale the tension into the ankles. And exhale, release them. There is nothing to do and nowhere to be right now. So we let it go. Let the muscles around your shin bones melt. So the inhale, focus your attention to the lower leg. And exhale, release all of those muscles. Let the bones be heavy. And inhale into the knees. And release, relax, surrender the knees, let them go. Bringing your attention now to the thighs, to the biggest muscle groups in the body, and we let them go. Let each muscle relax. It does not need to do anything right now. The thigh bone gets heavy. It's almost as if the legs have melted into the floor. Then we bring our attention into the hips, the joints. We let go. We exhale the tension. A lot of our practice has been to create space here. So we just allow the body to fall into that space. As you inhale, bring your attention to the belly, to the abdominal region. And exhale, let it sink towards the earth. Inhale, attention into the lower back. And exhale, relax through the lower back. Inhale, bring your attention to the ribs, feeling them expand gently with the breath. And as you exhale, let them be heavy. Let them sink in. Inhale, send your attention all the way down into the fingers. And exhale, let the fingers relax. Every little muscle releases. Inhale into the hands. And exhale, let the hands press into the earth. The muscles let go. Inhaling to the wrists. And exhale, let all of those little bones be heavy. Release. Inhaling into the forearms. And exhale, let the forearms relax. Let the bones in the forearms be heavy. Releasing the elbows. And inhale, attention into the upper arms, the biceps, the triceps. And let those muscles melt. Release any tension. So the arms release into the floor. Breathing into the shoulders. And we find a lot of tension here. We let it go. Exhale it out. If you need to shift the shoulders away from the ears, let go of that tension. Take another breath here. And release. Breathe into your neck. And as you exhale, release any tension through the front or the back of the neck. Again, it's another hot spot for tension, so we inhale again to the neck. And exhale, let it go. Inhale into the jaw. Exhale, release all of the little muscles in the jaw. Letting them release and relax. Unclench, unwind. One more breath into the jaw. And exhale, let it go. Inhale into the face. Those little muscles between the eyebrows. And exhale, feel them smooth out. Almost as if the face was melting towards the ground. Let the back of the head be heavy. So from the tip of the toes to the top of the head, everything surrenders. So we find magic in these moments, because at this very moment, all that you need, you have. There is nothing to do and nowhere to be. Now, if you do have all the time in the world today, then do feel free to stay as long as you like in your Shavasana. For those who haven't allowed time, we start to draw attention back into the body. Attention rather than tension. And just notice if your body needs any little stretches, any little shifts, and allow yourself to start to move. Being gentle, being kind. Start small. And then if you like, lift the arms overhead and lengthen the body from the fingers to the toes, like a luxurious cat stretch. And then when you're ready, try to keep the eyes closed as you do. Just roll to your right side and just take a moment there. So you're just letting the body slowly come back into the world, letting your attention slowly come back. But we bring that sense of peace with us. And then we gently press the left hand, coming back up to sitting. So again, just finding a comfortable seat. So that is our final pose for the practice. And we just draw the hands together in front of the heart before we conclude. We relax the shoulders. And we gently bow forward in honor of ourselves, in honor of our practice, and these moments of peace. And we say Namaste, whether you say it aloud or inside. And thank you so much for practicing today and for continuing the practice. So if you are doing the workouts that Lisa and Kim are taking you through, then do please continue with the yoga practice as well. It's one of those beautiful things that will balance out everything else that you do, and it really does help the blood flow, it helps the circulation, and it helps to ease also any muscle soreness or fatigue that you start to build from doing the more dynamic workouts. The yoga will help to ease that. So thank you so much for practicing, and please keep practicing.